The station was loud and busy, just like every other day. People from many planets moved through the halls, talking, trading, and working. Matt, a young human engineer, walked with a small tool bag in his hand. He had just finished fixing the broken air filter in the lower decks. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and looked around the crowded market area. Matt didn't talk much about his past. Years ago, he had been part of a rescue team on an alien planet during a war. It was a mission that left him with memories he wanted to forget. Now he kept to himself, fixing things and staying out of trouble. As he walked past the fruit stand, he felt something strange. Someone was watching him. He turned his head and saw a tall girl with silver blue skin and long dark hair. She wore a long cloak that covered most of her body, but her glowing violet eyes were visible. She took a step forward, then another, until she stood right in front of him. Matt looked at her, confused. She leaned in closer to him. Then she closed her eyes and breathed in deeply, as if smelling something important. She opened her eyes wide and spoke softly. "It's you." Matt took a step back. "I'm sorry. Do I know you?" The girl smiled, but her eyes were full of emotion. "You saved me. Years ago. I remember your scent. I've been looking for you." Matt blinked. He tried to remember. "What do you mean?" She held out her hand. "My name is Kyla. You were on my planet during the attack. You found me. You carried me to a ship. You gave me something warm and told me I would be safe. I never forgot you." Matt stared at her, shocked. He remembered the mission, the burning skies, the children crying. He remembered holding a small alien girl wrapped in a blanket, hiding from falling debris. But he never thought he would see her again. "That was a long time ago," Matt said slowly. "Not for me," Kyla said. "Your scent. It never left my mind. My people remember scent more than faces. It was the only way I could find you." Matt didn't know what to say. He had seen so much during the war. He never thought anyone would remember him, especially not like this. He looked at her again. She seemed kind but strong. Her voice was soft but full of purpose. "Are you sure?" he asked. Kyla nodded. "I am. I looked for years. I traveled to many stations. Every time I caught a trace of your scent, I followed. And now I've found you." Matt felt strange. He didn't think of himself as a hero. He had only done what he could to help. But to her, it had meant everything. "Do you live here now?" he asked. "No," she said. "I came to find you." That was my goal. Matt looked around. People were staring, but he didn't care. Something in her eyes told him this was real. "Do you want to talk?" he asked. She smiled again. "Yes, very much." He led her to a small cafe near the edge of the market. They sat at a quiet table. She ordered a cup of tea with herbs from her homeworld. Matt got his usual black coffee. As they sat together, Kyla told him about her journey. After the rescue, she had grown up in a refugee camp. When she was older, she joined a Space 8 group. She traveled from planet to planet, helping others, always searching. Matt listened in silence. He felt a weight in his chest. He never imagined that one act of kindness would mean so much. "I always believed I would find you," she said. "Because I had to thank you, and because I felt a bond." "A bond?" Matt asked. Kyla nodded. "In my culture, scent is memory. It means safety, trust, and connection. I knew I would know you by it." Matt looked at his coffee. He didn't know what to think, but he felt something too. A warmth he hadn't felt in a long time. "I don't know what to say," he said. "Don't have to say anything," Kyla replied. "Just let me stay with you for a little while." Matt nodded slowly. "All right, you can stay." And just like that, a new chapter in both their lives began. The sun lamps above the station's biodome gave off a soft golden glow. Matt and Kyla walked slowly through the quiet garden paths, away from the noise of the market. Tall trees with colorful leaves swayed gently in the recycled air. Small. Birds chirped in the distance. It felt peaceful here. Kyla touched the leaves of one tree and smiled. This reminds me of home, my real home, before the war. Matt looked at her, his hands in his jacket pockets. What was your planet like? She took a deep breath. Warm winds, blue grass, trees that glowed at night. My people lived close to nature. We didn't have many machines. When the war came, everything changed. The sky turned red and the ground burned. We ran. I lost my mother. My father died trying to save others. Matt lowered his head. I'm sorry. You don't have to be, she said gently. You were the one good thing that happened in that dark time. They walked in silence for a while. The wind made Kyla's cloak flutter softly behind her. Matt remembered bits of that mission, the sounds of blasters, the cries, the smell of smoke and dust. He had grabbed a small girl hiding under rubble and carried her to a medical ship. At the time, he had no idea who she was. He only knew she needed help. I didn't think anyone would remember me, he said. Kyla looked at him. I never forgot. In my people's minds, scent is everything. It holds memory, feeling, truth. When I was safe on the ship, I held your jacket close. I smelled it every day until I could fall asleep without fear. Matt stopped walking. Her words hit him deeply. He had never known what happened to the people he helped. Most of them were just faces in the fire. What made you decide to find me? He asked. Kyla stood in front of him, her eyes serious. I grew up feeling alone, even with others around me. But I always believed that I had a connection to you. You risked your life to save mine. I needed to find you, not just to say thank you, but to understand why I still felt this bond. Matt tried to smile, but he felt a tightness in his chest. I think I understand, but I never thought I was special. You are, she said softly. To me, you are. They sat down on a bench under a tall tree with golden leaves. The bench was warm from the light above. Kyla looked up at the leaves and spoke again. Do humans bond like we do? Matt shrugged. Some of us, we fall in love. We feel close to people. But it's not always for life. Some feelings fade. Kyla nodded. For my kind, if the bond is strong, it lasts forever. And the scent of that person brings peace, even in the darkest times. Matt looked at her with quiet wonder. He could see how serious she was. She wasn't just talking about old memories. She was talking about something real to her. So you still feel that bond? He asked. She smiled. Yes, being near you feels right. Like I belong, even if we are different. Matt felt a strange warmth in his heart. He had lived a lonely life on the station, working hard, staying quiet, keeping away from others. But now someone had come into his world with open arms and open heart. Would you like to stay here for a while? Yes. Kyla looked surprised but happy. Yes, I would like that very much. They walked back toward Matt's quarters, talking more about her life in the refugee camp and his work on the station. He showed her the small room where he lived, filled with tools, books, and half-finished machines. It's simple, but it's home, he said. It feels warm, she said. Just like you. Matt looked at her, unsure what to say. Her words always seemed to go straight to his heart. Thank you for letting me in, Kyla said. I know I came from your past, but maybe I can be part of your future too. Matt gave a small smile. We'll see. One step at a time. She nodded. One step is all I need. Kyla woke up early in the small room Matt called home. She listened to the soft humming of the station and looked at the tiny lights on the wall. The air was cool and filled with the smell of old metal and machine oil. But she could still smell Matt nearby. It made her feel safe. She went into the kitchen and saw Matt already making breakfast. He was frying eggs and making toast. He looked surprised when he saw her. Good morning, he said. Did you sleep well? Kyla nodded. Yes. Better than I have in years. Your place feels safe. Matt gave a small smile. He was not used to company. He poured her a cup of tea and put some food on a plate. They sat together in the quiet room. Kyla noticed all the small things around the kitchen tools, spare parts, wires, and tiny broken robots. She picked one up and looked at it with wonder. "Do you fix everything yourself?" she asked. Matt nodded. "Most things. It's my job, but I also like making things work again." Kyla smiled. "I never had much. In the refugee camp, we shared what little we had. People would come together and fix broken things too. It made life feel a little more normal." After breakfast, Matt had to go to work. He invited Kyla to join him. They walked through the station's long metal halls. Matt greeted a few people with a nod, but most of the time, he kept his head down. Kyla noticed some people stared at her, but she did not mind. She was used to being different. Matt took her to the oxygen filtration room. It was full of pipes, wires, and big machines humming loudly. Matt showed her how the machines worked. He explained in simple words so Kyla could understand. She watched with interest and asked many questions. While they worked, an older woman named Linda came in. She was the head engineer. She had short brown hair and sharp eyes. She smiled when she saw Matt, but her eyes grew curious when she saw Kyla. "Who's your friend, Matt?" Linda asked. "This is Kyla," Matt said. "She's visiting for a while." Linda smiled at Kyla. "Nice to meet you. Are you interested in machines too?" Kyla nodded. "I want to learn. I never had the chance before." Linda laughed. "You came to the right place. Matt is the best teacher here." Kyla felt proud, and Matt looked a little embarrassed. He showed her how to clean the filters and check the air pressure. Kyla tried her best, and soon she was able to help him with small tasks. Later, they took a break in a small park inside the station. Children were playing, and some families sat under fake trees. Kyla watched the children run and laugh. It reminded her of her own childhood before the war. Matt handed her a sandwich. "It's not much, but it's good." Kyla took a bite. She looked at Matt. "Why do you live alone?" Matt was quiet for a moment. "I used to have friends, but after the war, I changed. I didn't feel like I fit in anymore." Kyla nodded. "I know that feeling." Matt looked at her. "Do you miss your people?" Kyla was silent for a moment. "Yes, every day. But I think I'm starting to find a new home." Matt didn't know what to say, but he felt something change inside. He was used to loneliness, but with Kyla there, it felt different. He wanted her to stay. After lunch, they returned to the workroom. Kyla helped Matt fix a broken panel. She learned quickly and was careful with every step. Linda came by again and saw Kyla's work. "You're a fast learner," Linda said. "Maybe you should work here." Kyla smiled. "Thank you. I would like that." When the day ended, Matt and Kyla walked back to his room. The halls were quieter now. As they reached the door, Kyla stopped and looked at Matt. "Thank you for today," she said. "It was one of the best days I've had in a long time." Matt looked at her, surprised but happy. "I'm glad you're here." Kyla smiled softly. "Me too." They went inside. For the first time, Matt didn't feel lonely. And Kyla, after years of searching, finally felt at home. The next morning, Matt and Kyla walked together to the market area. The station was busy, filled with people of many kinds, all talking and moving quickly. Vendors called out their prices and children ran between the food stalls. The smells of pho, new fruit, spices, and oil from frying food filled the air. Kyla stayed close to Matt. She still felt a little nervous in the crowds, but being near him helped her feel calm. They stopped at a stand selling bright yellow fruit. The merchant, a tall man with a thick beard, saw Kyla and frowned. He crossed his arms and stared. "Hey, Matt," the man said. "Who is your friend?" Matt answered in a friendly voice. "Her name is Kyla. She's new here." The merchant did not smile. "We don't see many like her on this side of the station." "Is she here to work, or is she just passing through?" Matt tried to stay calm. "She's with me." A few more people nearby started to watch. Some looked curious. Others looked unfriendly. Kyla felt the tension in the air, but she stood straight and tried to look strong. The merchant took a step closer. People say it's not safe to bring strangers here. We've had problems before. Matt shook his head. Kyla is not a problem. She is my friend. Kyla could see the worry in Matt's eyes. She took a deep breath and focused on the space between them. In her mind, she remembered what her elders taught her. Her people could use their scent to calm others. It was a gift. Her kind had a way to bring peace. She let her scent drift out, soft and gentle, almost like a summer breeze. The angry faces around her began to relax. The merchant's shoulders dropped, and his frown faded. People stopped staring and turned back to their shopping. The merchant blinked, looking confused. He turned away and started talking to another customer. The crowd broke apart. Kyla felt relief. Matt looked at her with wonder. Did you do something? Kyla nodded. My people use scent to change how others feel. Only a little. I just wanted to calm everyone. Matt was amazed. That was incredible. Thank you. Kyla smiled shyly. I only wanted to help. I don't want trouble for you. Matt shook his head. You helped. They bought some fruit and left the market. As they walked, Kyla told Matt more about her people and their special bond with scent. She explained that for her kind, scent was like music or color. It meant love, safety, and trust. When someone helped you, their scent became a part of your memory forever. They found a quiet place to sit and eat. Matt listened carefully. He realized how important these bonds were to Kyla and her people. He saw how much trust she had placed in him. Later that day, Matt showed Kyla around the rest of the station. They visited the library, the gardens, and even the viewing deck where you could see the stars outside. Kyla loved the garden the most. She touched every plant, smelling each one. Matt watched her with a smile. He felt proud that he could show her something good after all the pain she had faced. That evening, they cooked dinner together. Matt showed Kyla how to make a simple stew from vegetables and noodles. They laughed when the soup boiled over. Kyla told a story from her childhood about a time when she tried to cook and burned everything. When dinner was ready, they sat together and ate in silence. Matt noticed Kyla seemed peaceful. She looked at him and said, "This is the first time I feel normal in many years. Thank you." Matt smiled. "I'm glad you're here." Suddenly there was a knock on the door. Matt opened it to find the station manager, a tall woman named Grace. She had short gray hair and a serious face. She looked at Kyla, then at Matt. "Can I speak with you?" Grace asked. Matt nodded and stepped outside. Grace spoke in a low voice. "Some people are worried about your friend." "I know you, Matt, but the rules are strict about visitors." Matt took a deep breath. "She's not a danger. She just needs a place to stay." Grace looked at him closely. "Just be careful. Not everyone." "Here's friendly," Matt nodded. "I'll look after her." Grace left. Matt went back inside. Kyla saw his worried face. "Is something wrong?" Matt tried to smile. "It's nothing. People are just people. Don't worry. I promise to look after you." Kyla reached for his hand. "I trust you." Matt felt the warmth of her touch. He knew life would not be easy for Kyla on the station, but he also knew he wanted her to stay. That night, as they sat together, Matt felt that they were not so alone after all. The next few days passed quietly. Matt and Kyla found a simple routine together. Matt went to work in the mornings, and Kyla sometimes joined him in the workshop. She learned to use tools and fix small things, happy to help. When she was not working, she walked in the gardens or sat by the big windows, watching the stars outside. She felt safe on the station, but she knew trouble could come at any time. One afternoon, Matt found Kyla sitting alone in the garden, looking at the flowers. She was holding a tiny piece of metal, a charm he had given her as a child during the war. It was shaped like a small star. She turned it over and over in her hand. Matt sat beside her. "You still have that?" Kyla smiled softly. It helped me feel safe. I always kept it with me. Matt felt a wave of guilt and wonder. He remembered giving it to her, hoping she would not be scared. He never thought she would keep it all these years. Kyla looked at him. Do you remember the day you found Emmy? Matt nodded slowly. It was loud and dark. I saw you under a piece of broken wall. You were crying, and you wouldn't let go of my jacket. I was scared too, but I had to get you out. Kyla nodded. You were the only one who stopped for me. Others were running, but you stayed. Matt did not know what to say. The memories of the war were painful, but seeing Kyla alive and safe made him feel better about what he had done. They sat together, watching the people pass by. Children played under the fake trees. The air smelled of grass and fresh water. Matt realized he liked being near Kyla. She made him feel less alone. That evening, they cooked together again. This time, Kyla wanted to try a recipe from her home planet. She found some herbs in the market that were close to what she remembered. The dish was simple, just boiled roots and sweet leaves. But the smell filled the room with something special. Matt tasted the food and smiled. It's good. Different, but good. Kyla laughed. It's not the same as on my planet, but it helps me remember. After dinner, Matt took Kyla to the biodome. It was quiet, and the light was soft. Kyla walked ahead and stopped under a big tree with silver leaves. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Matt watched her. He saw how calm she looked. He walked over and stood beside her. Kyla turned to him, her eyes full of feeling. Your scent still brings me peace, she said quietly. Even after all these years, Matt was quiet. He was not sure what to say. He looked at her and felt something warm inside. Kyla spoke again. In my culture, when we feel this bond, we ask to stay close forever. Matt looked at her, surprised. Are you asking me? Kyla nodded. If you let me, I would like to stay by your side. Matt thought about it. He remembered his lonely life before she came. Now, every day felt brighter. He smiled. I want you to stay. Kyla, I like having you here. Kyla smiled, her eyes shining. She reached out and hugged Matt. He hugged her back, feeling her arms around him. It felt good, safe, and right. As they walked back to Matt's room, Kyla told him about her dreams. She wanted to help others like him, to build a home where all people could feel safe. Matt listened, feeling hope for the first time in a long time. Late that night, as they sat together, Matt looked at Kyla. Thank you for coming back into my life. Kyla smiled. Thank you for saving me, not just once, but now too. They sat in silence, feeling the peace between them. Outside, the stars glowed. For the first time in years, Matt believed the future could be better, and Kyla knew she had finally found where she belonged. One day, as Matt was teaching Kyla how to repair a control panel, a loud voice called out from the hallway. A tall man in a dark uniform stood in the doorway. His name was Captain Briggs, and he worked for the security team on the station. He looked at Matt, then at Kyla. Matt, I need to talk to you, he said. His voice sharp. Matt stood up, wiping his hands. Kyla watched, worry in her eyes. What's wrong, Captain? Matt asked. Briggs walked closer and lowered his voice. Someone reported that you're hiding a dangerous alien. Is that true? Matt's face turned red. Kyla is not dangerous. She is my friend. She lives here with me now. Briggs frowned. The rules say every visitor must be registered. Some people are scared. We have to check. Matt tried to stay calm. Kyla is not a threat. She just wants to live in peace. Briggs stared at Kyla. I will have to ask her some questions. Kyla nodded, her voice steady. I understand. Briggs led them to the security office. Inside, 2 officers sat at desks with computer screens. They asked Kyla about her past and why she came to the station. Kyla answered honestly. She told them about the war, the refugee camp, and how she came to find Matt. One officer, a young woman named Sophie, Listen carefully. She looked at Kyla with kindness. You just want a safe place, don't you? Kyla nodded. Yes, I only want to help and live in peace. Briggs looked unsure. We'll check your story. Until then, you must stay here. Matt was upset. She didn't do anything wrong. Sophie spoke softly. Let's wait for the records. Matt waited outside the office, walking back and forth. Hours passed. Finally, Sophie came out. She smiled a little. We found records from the refugee camp. Kyla was listed. As a survivor, there is no reason to keep her here. Matt felt relief. Can she come back with me? Sophie nodded. Yes, but tell her to be careful. Some people on the station don't trust strangers. Kyla came out, tired but calm. She smiled when she saw Matt. I knew you would wait for me. Matt hugged her, always. They walked home together. The station felt cold and unfriendly, but Kyla was happy to be free. That night, Matt called some of his old friends from the rescue team. He told them what happened and asked for help. Some of them worked in important jobs now. They promised to watch out for Kyla and speak for her if needed. The next day, Matt and Kyla met Linda in the workshop. Linda had heard about what happened. She gave Kyla a gentle hug. You belong here. Don't let them scare you away. Kyla smiled, feeling a little stronger as days went by. Matt and Kyla worked together more. They fixed machines, cleaned air vents, and even built a small robot to help with cleaning. People on the station started to notice how hard Kyla worked and how kind she was. One afternoon, Matt and Kyla went to the park. Some children were playing with the robot they had made. Kyla laughed as the robot chased after a bouncing ball. The children laughed too and invited Kyla to join their game. For the first time, Kyla felt like part of the community. Later, Matt and Kyla sat under a tree, watching the stars appear through the glass roof. You know, Matt said, I was afraid I would never feel at home again after the war. But with you, everything feels better. Kyla leaned against him. You gave me hope. Now I want to give you the same. Matt smiled. I think we can help each other. Kyla nodded. I want to stay with you, Matt, for as long as you want me. Matt squeezed her hand. I want that too. As the lights of the station dimmed for night, Kyla rested her head on Matt's shoulder. They watched the stars in silence, both knowing they had finally found a place where they could belong. The days on the station grew brighter for Matt and Kyla. More people smiled at Kyla when they saw her, and some stopped to talk or ask her for help with small problems. Kyla felt her world growing bigger and kinder every day. Matt was happy. Too, he liked waking up and knowing that Kyla was there. He enjoyed teaching her and working together. He could not imagine his life without her anymore. One day, Linda came to visit them. She brought a small box wrapped in soft cloth. She handed it to Matt and Kyla. You two have made this place better, Linda said. I thought you might want to. Use this. Inside the box was a small crystal. It glowed softly with a blue light. Kyla gasped. This is a bonding crystal. On my planet, we use this to show two lives coming together. Matt looked at her, surprised. Do you want to use it? Kyla nodded. Her eyes were bright. I would be proud to. They asked Linda and a few close friends to meet them in the station's garden. That evening, as the lights grew dim and the stars shone above, Kyla and Matt stood together under the big tree with silver leaves. Linda handed the crystal to Matt. Kyla placed her hand over his .KYLA spoke first. Where I come from, sin and memory are everything. When I was lost and afraid, Matt gave me hope and safety. Now, I want to give the same to him, Matt spoke softly. I never thought I would find someone who understood me, but Kyla has changed my life. She makes every day better. I want to share my days with her. They both held the crystal together. It glowed brighter and sent a soft, warm light around them. Kyla closed her eyes and breathed in deeply. Matt did the same. In that moment, both of them felt their bond grow stronger. Linda and the others smiled and clapped quietly. The ceremony was simple, but it felt right. Kyla looked at Matt with shining eyes. Now everyone can know we are together. After the ceremony, they walked back to Matt's room. Matt felt lighter than ever before. Kyla took out the little star-shaped charm he had given her long ago. She placed it on the table next to the glowing crystal. "This will always remind me of you," she said. Matt smiled. "And the crystal will remind me of you." They sat together and talked about their future. Kyla wanted to help rebuild her home planet someday. Matt said he would go with her, help her people, and build new things. They dreamed about traveling to other stations and helping others who felt alone. A few weeks later, Kyla got a message from her homeworld. Her people were rebuilding and needed help. She looked at Matt. "Will you come with me?" Matt nodded. "Of course. Wherever you go, I go." They packed their things and said goodbye to Linda and their friends on the station. Before they left, many people came to say goodbye. Some children gave Kyla small drawings. Others hugged Matt and wished him good luck. When their ship took off, Kyla looked out the window at the stars. Matt sat beside her, holding her hand. You scared?" Matt asked. Kyla shook her head. "Not with you. I know we will be okay." Their ship landed on Kyla's home planet. The sky was blue and the grass was bright. Many buildings were being built and people worked together everywhere. Kyla's eyes filled with tears. She was home at last, and now she could help her people heal. Matt joined her, using his skills to fix machines and teach others. Kyla helped the children, teaching them to feel safe again. Together, they built a new home for themselves and for others who needed hope. Each evening, Matt and Kyla sat outside their new house, looking at the stars. The little star charm and the bonding crystal sat on the table inside, glowing softly. Their days were busy, but their hearts were calm. They knew they had found what they were looking for. Matt often thought about how one act of kindness, so many years ago, had brought them together. He was thankful for the day Kyla found him again. And Kyla, every time she smelled Matt's scent or saw the little star, remembered the promise she had made to never forget him. Together, they learned that even in a big universe, a single bond could change everything. Their story spread across the planet and even to other worlds, a story about hope, kindness, and the power of remembering someone sent. And as the stars shone above, Matt and Kyla knew they would never be alone again.